We spend so much time polishing our resumes, right? Listing all our skills, all our experience. But what if I told you that one of the most critical skills for your career isn't something you can even put on your resume? What if it's more like a compass you have to learn how to read?
Take a look at this. This is a maritime passport, and for a sailor, their entire career can literally hang on these two little words circled right here: conduct and character. I mean, they seem simple enough, but they carry a ton of weight. We're talking promotions, future jobs, everything. So, what's the deal with these words, really? What are they actually measuring? It's not just about being polite or, being a good person. What are employers, whether they're on a ship or in a downtown office, truly looking for? Well, it turns out those words are basically code. They're code for something much, much bigger: your ability to work with and navigate different cultures. It's a skill that has become absolutely essential, and as this passport shows, it's something people are actually getting graded on.
Okay, so to really get our heads around this, we need to back up for a second and ask a really basic question. What even is culture? We throw that word around all the time, but what are we talking about?
Usually, when we hear the word culture, our brains jump to all the visible stuff, the usual suspects: the language someone speaks, the food they love, their music, religious beliefs, social habits, even the art they create, and the clothes they wear.
But here's the thing. That's all just scratching the surface. That's the tip of the iceberg. Real culture is so much deeper than what we can see or hear.
If you want to get a little more official, here's a great definition. Culture is the whole collection of learned beliefs, values, rules, norms, symbols, and traditions that are common to a group of people. And that word learned is so important. This isn't stuff we're born with. It's passed down to us.
Probably the best way to think about it is this. Culture is like your mind's personal operating system. It's the software that's always running in the background, shaping everything you think and do, usually without you even realizing it. So what does this cultural software do? Well, for starters, it's how we make sense of the world, how we interpret our experiences. It forms our core values about what's good and bad. It shapes our attitudes, and of course, it influences our behavior, how we actually act. Basically, it's the invisible script that we're all following. It tells us how to act in pretty much every situation, from how we greet a stranger to how we deal with conflict. It's guiding us constantly. So you might be thinking, okay, sailors, I get it. But this idea isn't just for people out at sea. This is a reality for every single one of us, whether you're on a ship or sitting at a desk. The truth is, because of globalization, our world is just way more interconnected. That ship's crew with people from all over the planet, that's not the exception anymore. It's a perfect metaphor for almost every modern workplace. We're pretty much all on a global crew now. And we often see this idealized image, right? Everyone holding hands around the globe. It's a nice thought, but the reality is usually a lot more like the image on the right. It's not one big happy family. It's many different, distinct groups all trying to coexist. So if we're all navigating these multicultural waters, we've got to be on the lookout for the hidden dangers, right? The reefs below the surface, the cultural blind spots that can really get us into trouble. And to do that, it really helps to be clear on two words we hear all the time. First, diversity. That's pretty simple. It's just the fact that differences exist in a group. But multiculturalism, that's about how those different cultures actually coexist and interact with each other. It's a much bigger idea. Now, when it comes to navigating all this, the single biggest hazard, it's not some big storm out on the horizon. The most dangerous thing we can hit is actually internal. It's a way of thinking. And that way of thinking has a name: ethnocentrism. It's the totally natural human tendency to put our own group, our own culture, right at the center of the universe. It's seeing our way of doing things as the default, as the right way. This quote from our source material absolutely nails it. It's the tendency to think that our own cultural values and ways of doing things are right and natural. It's that default setting that tells us the way we see the world is just the way the world is. And here's where it all comes full circle, right back to that sailor's passport. Thinking this way is a major obstacle to being an effective leader. How can you lead people effectively if you can't understand or respect that they're running on a completely different operating system? So I'll just leave you with this to think about. We all see the world through a cultural lens. It shapes everything. The real skill, the one that defines conduct and character, is first realizing that you're even looking through a lens, and then having the curiosity to maybe, just for a moment, try and see the world through someone else's.